decades-long dispute between the town of Andrews and Georgetown County. The town filed a lawsuit against the county in 2021, claiming they had not given them the full amount of money promised in their 2014 penny sales tax referendum. Anna Harris breaks down the story.
With a municipal complex sitting here half done in the town of Andrews.
Operations has been constrained.
This building is meant to house the Andrews Fire and Police Departments, but according to a 2021 lawsuit, the construction had to stop because the town claims they stopped receiving the funding they were promised from the 2014 Georgetown County penny sales tax revenue. Documents state $1.5 million of that revenue was estimated to go towards the municipal complex, but when the county was collecting the total, they ended up having nearly $13 million over what they estimated. Plus, McClary says their complex ended up costing over double what was expected. In turn, the lawsuit claims the county did not fund the full cost of the rest of the project, counting the extra money as surplus to go elsewhere.
It's not the penny sales tax that we have an issue. We have an issue with the management of it.
The county's ordinance states the money collected in excess must be first applied to complete a project the tax was imposed for.
But because they felt that they've met the obligation with the town of Andrews, they cut us off.
Now it's time for the two to face off in court. That date has been set for March 17th of next year. Georgetown County says they do not comment on pending litigation, but also say they paid Andrews the original $1.5 million twice. Now, McClary was able to provide me with those receipts, but he also says they're still short about $2.7 million to finish that project. The lawsuit also claims $7 million of that surplus was set to go towards individual county council members for their own district projects.
So all of these things that are listed on here in this $7 million, they're telling me that this is more important than the lives of the people in this building and the people that come here for service. That's a problem.
In Andrews, Anna Harris, Live 5 News.
Okay. Maybe that's the problem right there. There you go. Thank you. All right. Am I unmuted now? They've been trying to silence me all day today. This is my fault just now. Am I good to go? All right. I'm good to go. I can hear myself in the back right there. Good to go. Thank you from my studio engineers. But anyway, let's start over. Good evening, and welcome to Real Talk Tuesday, where we get into the local politics that affect us and our community. And local politics meaning politics that is affecting you. If you are wherever you are right now, your local politics affect you. And tonight, we have a big topic on the table. That video that you saw, what they're talking about is a situation that's been going on, ongoing situation for the last 3 years. And we're going to take a dive into that tonight, to getting into the history of that, how this came about, when it began, because there's a historic court case that a judge finally decided, hey, look, after 3 years of being in court, where the town of Andrews said, hey, look, we need this money to go ahead and complete this project. The judge has said, we have a court date, and now this is going to be heard in court. Again, we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of all of that tonight. And of course, you know what I mean? Your opinions are very much needed in this discussion. So please leave your comments. Share the broadcast. We'll get to as many comments as possible. Let me bring my co-host on up here so we can dig into this. A little better there. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Hey, doing great. Yourself?
All right. Let me see if I can help out eyes that may be watching. How about that right there? Look at that. In real
Yeah.
time, I did it. Oh, but now,
We
now
got critique last week, but not we. I did because of the lighting and the camera is not of quality, and so it told me to consult with Jamal to make sure that I get the proper lighting. So I suspected I would be getting some a Christmas gift that consisted of lighting and all those other things that makes me a little high speed like Mr. Jamal.
GVM.
So all those good ideas out there. Go ahead and send those gifts forward.
All right. Hey, listen. I apologize, sir. We're on a tighter schedule. Okay, we've been approached by I've been approached by some possible investors, and I needed to tighten this up. But before we get into this segment, let me give a shout out to those folks who are looking to pay some bills around this camp right here. You know what I mean? Let me give a shout out to them before we move forward. Welcome to Clean Feed, your gateway to elevated online events, specializing in multi-camera live streaming production. We redefine online content with superior quality. Elevate your online events with Clean Feed and stand out in a world of high-quality production. Join us for a seamless blend of technology and creativity. Clean Feed, high-quality streaming.
Hey man, I'm on my way to the finest place for everyone to play, where the drinks are cool if the sun is hot, and the Merle's Inlet's Marsh Walk.
Enjoy spectacular waterfront dining and live music with breathtaking saltwater marsh views at the Merle's Inlet Marsh Walk. Marsh Walk, where the view, the music, and the fun are always free. Marsh Walk, Highway 17 Business, Waterfront, Merle's Inlet.
Are you tired of pesky bed bugs ruining your nights? Say goodbye to those annoying bugs with our effective and safe bed bug heat treatment. Our service is fast, reliable, and ECO-friendly. With our treatment, you'll be able to sleep peacefully without worrying about those pesky bugs anymore. Don't suffer through another night of uncomfortable sleep. Book your appointment now and get ready to say hello to a better night's sleep.
All right, and so then I was supposed to bring you up, and then, but you working on it, okay?
So I see we have some consultants out there.
It got some
Lighting,
consultants out there.
Format, that's all good. We want to improve the quality of what we do here, but more importantly, we want to continue to provide transparency to what we do on this end, what I do on this end, and of course, anything else that of interest to the people. We want to add some truth to it or some light to the topic. So any positive feedback in terms of how we can do this better is welcome. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So I mean, let's get right into it. You had Live 5 in today. I got this loaded up to help us, right? Because what I want to do is dig into this thing a little deeper, because what we got was a snapshot right there of what was that, a 2-minute clip, a minute and a half clip of a 2-hour interview.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But that's how the news do it. So shout out to Anna for coming and putting light on that story, though, because she didn't have to do that. And thanks to them, I think somebody put up on Facebook. They was like, they put the picture. I'm gonna put this here and see what this was about. This is about your town, right? That's what this is about. But where I wanted to start at is, when did you come to the town of Andrews? Not when you was born in the town of Andrews.
Right. Yeah.
As the mayor.
January 2016.
January 2016. So from this chart right here, we can see that this project started back in 2014. So it's safe to say it started before you got there, right?
Yes, they went through the process of getting this voted on, and it was all set. It was just waiting to be executed.
Okay, and so let's kind of go through this this process. His hold on a second. I got the wrong thing up here. Is what where I'm messing up at. All right, boom. Here we go. Excuse me. And guys, we've been going over this on this podcast. This and the mayor can testify to this. This podcast, Welcome to Andrews, the podcast, was inspired by what happened with this whole thing right here, this whole court case that's coming up. So for me, you guys are looking at the ending of the movie, and I don't even know what the ending of the movie is going to be yet, right? But let's start here. June 10th, 2014 was the first reading of the capital project sales tax ordinance. That's 10 years ago.
Yeah, but I also
I lost you. Hold on a second. Let me see what we got.
All right, it's my mute. Hold a second.
Okay. Hey, listen, if you want any of you would like this document right here that's on the screen, please just put your email in the comment section in the chat, and I'll definitely send that over to you. Yeah. This is what it is. Go ahead.
Okay, right. So folks can understand the purpose behind this type of money. And I'll try to keep it condensed because there's a lot of detail behind all of this.
I apologize, sir, but the purpose of the night, I think the purpose of this platform, take as much time as you need, because for those who are seeking out that truth, there's documents to back this up, and so let's go ahead and walk that down. Go ahead.
Yes, bottom line. The penny sales tax, just like what we just went through. So the folks that are in the county and who are aware of the purpose of the penny sales tax is to collect a penny. In this case, in 2014, it was 1 cent added to the 6% on your sales tax. That 1 cent that was added to it for a period of 4 years, which from 15 to 19, every penny that was supposed to go into the separate pot of money is designed to fully fund a list of projects that were identified and voted on by the people. So in this particular case, in 2014, there were 5 projects, just 5. Not unlike what we have right now. There's 22 on the one for the 2024 referendum. So in this particular case, it was only five projects. And all of the money that's collected over that period of time, by law, is supposed to go to these 5 projects in priority. It's like they're listed here. Now, they also had the flexibility or the ability to start multiple projects if they felt comfortable that the money was going to come in. They can do more than one project at a time. But let's say, for example, if it was only in the Wynyard Bay dredging, if they only collected $6 million, all of that would have gone to that project, and the rest of them would have just been, off the shelf, and have to take another look at those in 4 years. But in this particular case, and this was the first one that Georgetown County had done. Other counties in the state had been using this tool to address some of their unmet needs that they could not fund or difficult funding through their regular budget, if you will, their general funds and those kind of things, or grants. So this was another tool to ignite, to stimulate your economic development efforts, if you will, and do those things that, again, like water and sewer. Those are very expensive projects, but so these monies can go to all those things. I saw someone tonight, one comment again, it's not wise to comment if you don't know what you're talking about. That person said, well, I think these kind of money should not be going to this. Well, it was a decision, and the monies are designed for a laundry list of things. In this particular case, there were 5 projects. They should be, and again, required to fund them in order.
And so what dictates that these 5 projects must be done in this order? What?
Well, the state, if you put that back up, you'll see there's the capital project sales tax ordinance, which was 2014-28 in this case, and the state sales tax act. You can go to those documents, and it's very specific. And this ordinance is a byproduct of the state statute. So there's certain things have to go into this ordinance. One thing that is critical in this particular case, the county, through their commission, through their efforts to get these projects on the referendum, had the option to say we will fully fund or partially fund these projects. The language that is in the referendum, it says fully fund. Okay, that's key. And when you say fully fund, further down in that document, it talks about all those things that are required to be funded. And that's whether it's preparation. For example, if we didn't have land for this particular building, then you could have used those funds to purchase the land, do any kind of landscaping in preparation, all things to make this project whole and functional, not to sustain it. These are not sustaining dollars.
All right, so you said fully fund, right?
Yes.
And these almost like
cost, fully fund, all that's in that document, and that's law.
Yeah, and so just so y'all know, I've been on this like a for a minute, and so when you say fully fund, let's talk about what does that mean. What does that mean for the 5 projects? That means that so they collected $41 million.
Yeah, and that's the other thing key too. So all of these figures are estimates because there was no analysis done or required to come up with these figures. Someone did they're their best guess. And that's also captured in the ordinance that says these are estimates only. And if when you begin the process to now contract for these various projects, and the cost is greater than what it is, then you got to add those funds to it. That's why it's such a risk to try to do multiple projects simultaneous, because had you run out of funds trying to manage 2 projects, then somebody would have to come up with money because the law requires these things to be fulfilled by priority. You follow me?
All right. And you said it's captured in the ordinance, meaning it's written in there that you should, before you move to one project, you must first fully fund the first project.
Yeah, and it left it up to the management, which in this case is the county that managed these dollars. These dollars are collected through the Department of Revenue and then moved down to the county for distribution to the various entities that's associated with these projects, right? So then, so although they said the number one is by priority, but it said, but you can, again, if you believe that you're going to collect the money that you projected, then you can begin projects number 1, 5, and 4, which that's what they did, because while they were doing the dredging, they were also paving roads, which is number 5. There was 104 roads on there. There's no way you're going to fund 104 roads with the money that they had projected to collect. That aside, they started all 3 projects. Nothing, and again, as you stated earlier, I got here in 2016. So nothing had started with Andrew's project. Nothing. Okay. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. Whoa. All right. So nothing has started with Andrew's project. All right. So, but all the money hadn't been collected yet, had it?
No, it hasn't. It's over time. And that's the risk. So this thing have to be managed by the flow of funds. And that's why, again, you're taking risks when you're trying to do multiple projects, because you don't know if you're going to run out, run out of funds before the end of this, this collection period, because it's mandated that it can only be collected for 4 years. All of that was voted on through this referendum process during the general election on 2014. Okay, so these are very strict and very clear guidelines for this type money.
So obviously, because according to what I know about this past capital project sales tax that just passed, they did what they did this time look more like what they were supposed to do.
So they learned some things from the mistakes they made, but they don't want to own up to it and allow this process that we're talking about right now to run its own path.
I got a statement to make right now. So this makes that whole deal with them not getting that lost money, boy.
It's possible.
Because this thing has been going on. How long has the town had the lawsuit against the county?
Since 21.
21. So you're talking
August
3
21.
years.
Yes. A little over 3 years.
Okay.
And so to your point, when you say the money again has to apply to all things: the acquisition of land, if necessary, the preparation. So in our case, in Andrew's case, the intent was to build the building back on the land that we own, as opposed to going out and trying to move town hall somewhere else. That saves some money. But in order to do that, we had to remove one of the existing buildings. In fact, it will be two once we are done with this thing. This building that I'm sitting in now will go away. All of that had to be a part of the preparation. So if you look in the ordinance, it talks about preparation. So preparation for before you even get to any construction consists of hazard material mitigation. So in the building that the fire department was in was once the public works building, where they use a lot of chemicals and things to treat the water.
He talking about that old blue building that used to be back there.
No, it was red and white.
Red and white.
It was a 6-bay building, very large building built on a foundation that was, I think, maybe a foot of concrete. So it's a lot of things that had to happen before we even got to the construction. All of that is captured in this document. And it talks about preparation. In this case, the hazardous material abatement, that was $81,000. So you got to clean it up before you can go in there. So you had to bring in a specialized team in hazmat material to do that. That's very expensive.
So all of these costs that you're talking about now,
yes,
that ate up that money.
Yes.
That they're talking about when the county says we don't give a comment, but we did give them $1.5 million plus an extra $1.5 million. They didn't.
Well, let's fix that. They didn't give us anything because it's not their money to give. This is money that was voted on. They were just the managers of it. They didn't see. They want to sell this narrative to the people that they've just given it. They're being generous. No, you had an obligation by law to distribute this money based on how this referendum captured. They failed to do that in many cases, to include awarding money to entities that wasn't even on the referendum. We haven't even got to that point yet.
Well, I'll let you know this here. Whenever we get to that point, I'm ready. But okay. Anyway.
So there's a lot of things that I haven't even made an issue because I'm not overly concerned about that because there was enough funds. That's for some other watchdog to be, concerned about. But when it comes down to when you are withholding the revenue from Andrew specifically, everybody else got what, all the other projects were met. But in all cases, when there's something that's dealing with Georgetown County and Andrews, we always come up on the short end of it. You take, for example, the storm drain project that was started 2 years ago. That stopped in midstream. Okay, so I don't want to get off target, but I think people need to understand.
And I'll say this here, and then we'll get right back on target because you did pull me off a little bit, but I'm gonna go over there with you because I saw where they getting ready to open up and finish out that brick chimney project over there.
Yeah,
those projects get started and completed. We have the west side, the west side.
So let me put a little bit more context to this thing. So we have been awarded almost close to $18 million in grants to do infrastructure. All of those projects that Andrews had solely oversight on, and with grant management from another agency that wasn't associated with the county, every one of them went through and was completed, if not before, on or just after task. But every project, which I think is 2 of them right now, this one and the storm drain, that was a the relationship with the county has stopped and has not been completed. Okay, so let's put things in perspective. Now, let me continue. So the preparation, and again, this is all things happen before you even in any construction. You're going to have to prepare the land for building. And that's part of the fees.
You're reading receipts.
Yes.
Okay.
So the hazard mitigation we talked about, that was $81,780. Building demolition allowance, that's $88,000.
What is that building demolition allowance?
So again, once they go in and mitigate the hazard, then now they got to demo the building.
All right, using big words, sir. You're gonna have to break this down. You said mitigate the hazard. When they go in there and take care of the problem.
When they clean it up, make it safe for this next phase of the construction or the demolition process. We haven't even got to building anything yet.
Okay.
And we're already close to $200,000.
Yeah, we had 169,000.
Okay.
Right there.
So the building demolition allowance is a little over $88,000.
Okay.
The next is site demolition and development.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little over $500,000, $543,825 to be exact.
Okay.
Then you have your site landscape.
We start building yet? Hold on, 500. Let's say 500,000. All right, I'm doing round numbers, but go ahead.
Yeah, just round number. Then you're talking about site landscaping, irrigation, and all that kind of business. That's low over 50, almost 60 grand.
And these are actual receipts that you got there.
This is how it's laid out in this
lawsuit.
No, not in lawsuit, in the contract. So
okay.
This is all preparation. This is before we get into anything else. And it's important that we understand that these things are covered by this referendum. And I'll find here in a second. Yeah, the 2014-28 ordinance. That is a Georgetown County ordinance. That sign is law.
It's law.
That's law. And that must be followed without any alterations or changes to that. That's law. That governs this pot of money. It's not something I wrote or the town of Andrews. This is the commission they had in place that did this. People voted on it. Here's the deal. Okay. So then the construction part of it, the building itself, and we got to understand what the building is for. Okay. And this is the other thing they get a little lost on and try to play the narrative, a narrative that would confuse, the average person. So then it states the public safety, which is the fire department and police department. Okay. Now you got to understand the organization structure. This is a strong mayor form of government, which the mayor is the mayor and he is the chief administrative officer for operation. So day-to-day operation falls under the mayor. That makes the mayor then the supervisor for the police department, the police chief, and for public works and the fire department. Now, we all know that it's not set up in terms of, salary for that, but that's that responsibility. You have the responsibility every day for all things for whomever sits in this chair under this form of government, which is a strong mayor form of government. And then you are allowed to have an assistant to help with that. And then you have the town clerk. So all of that's the HR. Those are the people who manage all of the personnel matters for these two departments we're talking about. That's one entity. That's the HR. So it's a lot of talk about, well, the mayor got this. And no. This position, not this guy. We removed the guy from it. The person, man or woman who sits in this chair.
$600 a month.
Huh?
$600 a month.
That's all you get paid. So you're going to have to be committed. But that's that person's job. So that's the HR. So there's a bunch of fuss about the admin. We don't have an admin. We're not Georgetown and some of these large cities who have this large staff. We're it. If the fire department don't get paid or the police department and insurance is not covered and that stuff, it's myself, the administrator, and the town clerk are the three HR people. So let's dismiss that narrative that there's a whole big department that this building is built for. Just push that aside. There are two other employees that are in this building that are not a part of either the fire department or the police department, and that's the building clerk and the customer service. There's $150,000 that came from the Senate Finance, graciously through Senator Ronnie Sabb. That covers $150,000 that has been applied to the $3 million, but that covers the office space for those two people. And I think $150,000 will get you to office. Some homes are built with that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then let's dismiss this thing about this structure is built for, for the mayor. Once I'm done with this, I'm going on to things I own. Not this building will not go with me, believe it or not. Okay. So then the building is a replica, just a modernized replica of what we're currently in this hazardous structure that we're in. This building, this structure here that I'm sitting in right now, that the county has been operating in for years, was built for the purpose of it was a segregated school back in the early 1920s, earlier than that. This building was the cafeteria. Then it was repurposed and became the DMV years later. I received my license as a 15-year-old in this building. Then later on, it became town hall. So this building is just as hazardous as the one we talked about that was demoed at the fire department. This building is not safe. Any significant weather, the bathrooms are going to flood. You're going to have structures that's coming down. In fact, we had a fire started, I think last year when this building was struck by lightning. Okay. So it's unsafe. I say all that to say that it's unsafe. Push that aside. So this building this modernized building is one contiguous structure, facility, just like this one is. Okay. So all of this thing about this being a Taj Mahal, it's nonsense. So then it housed the fire engines that we have. That's all for the fire department. The police department, which consists of, the organization design is for nine officers to include the chief. And then, because right now, this is the first time, again, thanks to the chief and the major we have now, Chief Cockrell and Major Chandler, for the work they've done to get everything we do now certified through SLED. Our evidence room was jacked, improperly maintained. I mean, there's a lot of things have been happening that was not in accordance with state and federal law, and you don't have a sufficient evidence room. So this building that we have, you have to have those entities. So if you see it appears to be a little bit larger than what it is, it may be because you now have to have you building for the future, or for now and the future, and it still doesn't exceed some of the other structures we've seen around this county or any elsewhere. Okay, so let's put things in perspective. There's nothing unique about what we're doing other than we're just getting in compliance with state and federal laws. But that comes down to managing these things.
And to that point of what you just said, it bugs me out when people are critical of the police department, yet at the same time not bucking for them getting into the building that should lift everything up. And not only the morale, but
you're going to get to another level of issues that we're challenged with. Okay, that's a whole nother subject. Why you have internal and external resistance. I mean,
from
people that are inside
elected officials that
are inside, but haven't spent the time to even say this was here. This 2014 referendum was here long before I got here. They were here. They just didn't read it. So now it sounds like there's something new, but this was documented in 2014 and at their disposal to read. Okay. All right, let's move on. So once you get done with all of the preparation, and again, you go back to the ordinance that says now if the material costs increase, you have to fund it. If you fund it and then something happens and have to increase, you have to continue. That's written. It'll tell you over and over again, you must complete this project before you move on to the next one. Which was easy in this case because, as stated in that article or in that piece the young lady did from Live 5, you estimated 28 million. You actually collected 41 million in 4 years.
All right. Before you get into that, let me try to stick to, these people who threatening me that they ain't gonna pay me. And let's run this commercial here real fast.
Okay.
But hold that point right there. Hold on, let me get on the right thing here. Let me hold that thought that you just had right there about that surplus. Okay. And let's let me get
okay, yeah, we'll get to that. It's another myth.
Get to where all right, here we go. Welcome to Clean Feed, your gateway to elevated online events, specializing in multi-camera live streaming production. We redefine online content with superior quality. Elevate your online events with Clean Feed and stand out in a world of high-quality production. Join us for a seamless blend of technology and creativity. Clean Feed, high-quality streaming.
Hey man, I'm on my way to the finest place for everyone to play, where the drinks are cool if the sun is hot, at the Merle's Inlet Marsh Walk.
Enjoy spectacular waterfront dining and live music with breathtaking saltwater marsh views at the Merle's Inlet Marsh Walk. Marsh Walk, where the view, the music, and the fun are always free. Marsh Walk, Highway 17 Business, Waterfront, Merle's Inlet.
And we're back. Always wanted to say that. But listen, for anybody that has a business, that last 30-second spot right there, that is your spot. You can have that spot. So if you don't have a commercial and you need to get a commercial done, please give me a holla and we can make that happen for you. If you got an event that you want to put in that spot right there, just give me a holla. We can talk about pricing and how we can get that out even more. So back to what you were just talking about. You were getting into the fact that you were highlighting the fact that in this when they collected this money, when this money was raised over that period of time from 2014 to 2019, the estimated amount to be raised, and we did agree that the estimated amount was not they didn't come about that by no professional means. It was just some people sitting in the room saying, hey, I think this would cost that. I think this would cost that. But what they did was protect themselves in that ordinance that we're talking about, that you're referencing, by saying that we acknowledge that these are just estimates. And the way we're going to write this ordinance is that, we're not going to hold you to those estimated numbers. But everything will be fully funded until this money runs out.
Yeah, I mean that's paraphrasing it, obviously, but it clearly states, and I'll go to I think it's about page 3 or 4 of this 2014 28 ordinance. It says the capital project sales and use tax shall be used and expended for procurement. So we talk about the preparation, procurement, design, engineering, project management, construction, preparation, or improvement of capital improvements for dredging, public safety, road improvement purposes in the list above. It also goes on to say that if this referendum is to be approved, and it was, it must be expended for the purposes stated. in the priorities listed above, although the projects may be funded simultaneous. I talked about that earlier. So this is verbatim from this ordinance. And it says the net proceeds of the capital project sales and use tax, if approved again, may be used to pay debt services on bonds, if any issue, to pay the costs of certain projects. Expenditures of the revenues from the capital project sales and use tax, if approved again, shall be subject to acquisition. So if you got to buy property, it says acquisition of property, right of ways, design, engineering, considerations, funding of projects from other sources, bids in excess of the project estimates. That's language, that's verbatim out of this document. So they knew going into this, just like we knew going into the 2024 sales tax process, that those are a better guess because where we, as a municipality, we have a professional engineering group. We've had some preliminary work done for the projects that we went after in this new sales tax list. So we can give them a better guesstimate. But this commission that was working this, they even took it a step further. They also set aside a percentage of money to cover anything that, that may be caused to, material increase or something that just overlooked, because again, none of this was designed and cost out by a professional engineering group. These were all best guess from, everybody in their respective, positions. So then again, which apparently was done properly this time as opposed to 2014. Again, this is language in here. Now, so
I would say that they being the people who were charged with dispersing that money and charged with control of that money, I would say that they did not read that ordinance.
Well, you got to think about it now. Again, this ordinance was sitting around for at least 2 years prior to, my arrival. I'm not so sure what had happened up until that point. And then you have to look back even further than that when you're talking about relationship between this town and this county. And if the people of this town, all of them would, who really have some insights on what was going on, this town has always come up short when it comes to Georgetown doing what they're supposed to do. That's just the facts. So nothing had changed when I got here just because I showed up. But when we started to
ask questions
and present these documents, then I guess they didn't figure we would get to this point. Well, I have an obligation to protect the interests of this town and the people of this town. So, I'm going to always do my due diligence to make sure that we're doing, and there's nothing that we were asking for. Again, this is stuff these are funds in this particular case that is due to this town.
So I see back in, and this, I apologize to,
No, go ahead, please.
To your point with the safety of the building that you're in, January 20th, 2020, which will be 4 years in a month, in a couple days, asbestos and lead paint was put for the town of Andrews Town Hall. And I would like to read that. Then February 25th, 2020, environmental mold report for Andrews Town.
But you have a chart that speaks to this. Again, for our new listeners or people who just wasn't paying attention before, you and I have covered this in great detail over the last couple of years. So I would invite you to go to this chart that shows, all of this asbestos you're talking about. These are actually photos from inside of these buildings, inside of where we work, where our fire department was housed. And out of the 6 bays, they could only use 2, I think maybe 2. It may have been 3, I'm not sure, because everything else was laced with all of this ugly stuff that could really cause you problems, over time. So again, none of this is a secret. We've had these conversations before. But again, as we get closer now, to this, I just don't want people to continue to think that, we're doing something that is above and beyond what's required.
If you were, they would have had y'all in court.
Exactly. Long time ago. And the other thing too, and I believe that if this building was in the condition that it is now 30, 40 years ago, when the staff looked very different, there would have been something done about it. There's no question about that. There wouldn't be any argument about putting these people and then having a safe place for the citizens to come in and do business. There wouldn't have been any argument. But this political climate from the national level on down has changed and has made us different. We don't treat each other fairly, and respect each other at, down at this level. It is absolutely ugly. But I can't allow that to stop us from doing our part to make things better. That's just the bottom line. But you can, so that document you have the 2014 ordinance that speaks to that. You have the pictures that show the condition of this thing. I mean, it's to me, it's there. So then this, I use terms when I was, in the military, this slicky boy move. So you're in Korea, you try to be slick about things, you get called slicky boy. So this slicky boy move, which means that you're trying to dodge around, ordinance in this case or policies. They quickly went and then said, well, we're done. You send me a letter. I mean, we have this. I think you just showed this document. This is a timeline from 14 until September 22 or September. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me go back to the time that we filed the lawsuit. So August 21 of 2021. This document captures every document, every conversation we had with the leadership in Georgetown before any contract was let. We met with the guys who were sitting in position, which was the administrator, those county council reps that were there. They're all gone now. But these are actually official documents. These are just a sequential timeline and a blurb from the meetings. But we met with these guys. We communicated with them before we took this to the public, before we even thought about lawsuit. We had face-to-face conversation, our attorneys at the table. The attorney then for the county stated that, yes, he wrote this document. I told him, I said, you did a fine job. You just didn't follow it. And that's the issue we have. We didn't follow it, and we weren't fair across the board, even when you had the opportunity. So what happened? So then they released on July 1st, 2021 or whatever it was, that you'll see it in here. They released the first 1.5 million. Then I went back to them as it laid out in here, and I said, this is not it. I told you before, this is what it's going to cost, because you're not just looking at construction. We're just talking about the preparation to get to construction. So we're going to need this 5.7.
And that's why I say that they could not have read the document, because if they had read the document clearly lays that out, that money is allotted for all of those said things. It's not seed money.
Right. No, it's nothing seed. They didn't give us anything. As the public relations person stated, we gave them. You didn't give us anything. You released the monies that you've had.
Former county councilman District 3, Everett Carolina, got on this show a long time ago, back in the Renegade days, back when I was broadcasting over on this wall, and stated that we gave Andrews the money, we gave McClary the money. He didn't, and during the primary and during the run up, he was telling people that you stole the money, and you need to give back the money that you stole. Even Miss Eileen Johnson, the new thing, she was talking to people that she thought she knew. And
I didn't come back home or anywhere to steal money from anything. I don't need to. And that's the ignorance of people speaking and don't know. And if I was interested, I'd be sitting in court with them on another issue. But they're not worth my time. Just let's stay focused on the business. That, you know, they can talk and say all this stupid, you know. But to your point, if it was anything illegal we've done here,
What?
I've always invited them to go to SLED, go wherever, the ethics.
Scott Harper would be covering this with garbage and beyond like you wouldn't believe.
So I'm comfortable being able to account for every dime that comes through this town, so they can go find something else to do with their time. But this guy and nobody that works here will be allowed to misuse, abuse anything that belongs to this town. So they can dismiss that, and that's just noise from people that are that
mad.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, I don't even want to go there. I'll stay focused. But let me read another excerpt from this ordinance, and it says. The county council finds, this is a part of the referendum, the county council finds that the imposition of the capital project sales tax in Georgetown County for the projects and the purpose defined in this ordinance for a limited time not to exceed 4 years, 15 to 19, to provide for the maximum cost of the projects or facilities funded for these purposes. That is verbatim from this. Maximum cost is interchangeable to use maximum cost and fully funded. It didn't say that you can, you know, it didn't give any limit on the size and give any limit. And when it comes down to these buildings that they've built, here's the other waste in this. I think there were 7 substations, sub fire stations, and majority of them right now are just storage place. So you're talking about millions wasted there. So we want to get down to the nuts and bolts about fraud, waste, and abuse. Go back and look at where these monies went, and not you know, just go look, take it for yourself. It's all public information. Go and look at the facilities. Take that list of roads that was on that referendum, 104
and go on
roads,
a field trip. Go on a field trip,
and go back and see whether those roads were completed. Go to these substations and see whether they all are equipped and manned. And you will see that it's not me. This is the management of those folks. And again, most of them have gone. So we'll move to this part. So then they cut the funds off. They send a letter, says, okay, we feel that we believe, is the language they use. We believe that we have met our obligation. You didn't have to guess. It's in the ordinance. So that's a mistake right there when you believe that you've met it. You haven't, because you haven't fully funded. So let's move to this. So when we pressured them for those funds and keep reminding them, here's what the law states. They took it upon themselves to write a new ordinance. And the purpose of that new ordinance, which is 20, I want to guess here. Let me give you that. So you can go to the record and pull up the county's record. And you will find.
You can go to the Georgetown County. That is 2014-28.
Yeah, so that's the original. That set the guidelines for the intended purpose to fully fund. Now, the law allows, once you have completed those, fully funded all of those projects, then if there's any money left, then it's the county's prerogative to now establish a new ordinance and then identify things like what you're presenting right now. If you can go out and use the rest of that money for whatever projects, these council members desire to put this money to.
The ordinance number is 2105.
No, 2026. Go to that one. That's the one that made the surplus, I believe. No, you're right.
Yeah, 2105, an ordinance allocating the remaining 2014 project capital project sales.
I appreciate you doing your due diligence. You've been working on this for a while, haven't you?
Oh yeah, you ain't gonna tell me. Listen, you ain't gonna tell me about this right here. I'm so ready for this court case to be over. Like, I've been working on it.
But that's what we all should be doing is reading these things. Is there, as opposed to listening to your buddy, your neighbor, saying what they think. It's all right here. You don't have to believe me. You believe what's in writing. And so then the 2105
gave us this list.
Yes, here it is right here. That's the list. Now, it may have changed, but this is what they published. This is a county document, right? So then they said McCleary and Andrews, we're done with you. You don't deserve it. Stay in that building where you are, and whatever happens, happens. My words. But that's essentially what they said. And we're going to take the remainder of this money, which was about $16 million. Because I think that at this point, they'd already scrapped the I think it was the Wynyard Bay dredging.
Yep.
Because they realized that $6 million estimate that they had was far from what it cost. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 66 or 70 million to dredge the Wynyard. So that money, I don't know where it is. Sure, it's someplace in a safe place. So then 16 million, what they decided to do, if you put that chart back up, please.
Mm-hmm.
And the timeline states the county council went into a session and decided that, Andrews, we're not going to give you any more than 3 million, or we're not going to release, because you didn't give me anything. We're not going to release the rest of this money to you. We're going to establish an ordinance that says this is surplus dollars, and we're going to give each of these council members $1 million each to go find projects to do, as opposed to saying, okay, here's the rest of your money, then we can go out and do. So you're telling me, as I stated today in that interview, these things right here, basketball court, the one that's in circled right here, Waverly Road, multimodal pathway. So we talk about a pathway in a very affluent neighborhood, a trail for $1.8 million plus is more important than the lives and the safety of the people here.
It's got to be, because 1.8 million is more than what they had allotted for a building that housed the
right.
Wow. Wowzers.
So let's start there. Then we go down. There's a basketball court. We're going to put $231,000 in a basketball court in South Island, as opposed to say, let's make sure we take care of, we stay in compliance with the guidance or with the law.
Well, what this money was actually used for was campaign money. That's what made me, when I first heard this story, I heard it and I'm like, hold on now. You know what I mean? Because listen.
You're not far off, because that's the impression you would leave people. Now I would hope, but again, being in this business for as long as I have, you have to be careful how you apply government funds. And so then the perception a lot of times is reality, but until you read. So then if I'm this guy in there and you give me $1 million and I have an election coming up, then strategically, I'm probably going to wait until it gets closer. And then I'm going to go out and make you some promises that I'm going to do this for you guys.
Bro,
just get me back in.
This money was collected in, the final date for collecting this money was 2019.
April 2019.
April 2019. Everett Carolina just tried to use some of this money to bribe the people in Sanford, South Carolina. And this is facts. Okay. This money right here. That's why I said that they use this money as campaign money.
Again, I won't, but again, you look at the timing of it, it just makes people,
No, and I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you my assessment. This has been my assessment this is why me and him got off on the wrong side, because I questioned him about that early in, and he talked to me like I was an idiot.
Right. I recall that conversation.
And so, but that was my thing, is it's like, this money has been, and that's what I was telling the people that I knew in Sanford, that money been sitting there for a while. This ain't no new money. Like, he just went and got some money to do these projects, and like Oprah out there, you can get a swing set over there, basketball goal over there, and a pickleball court. Remember all of that crap?
Yeah, go back to that list.
That came out of that money.
Yeah, so I want people to see this. So this is what they said to the town of Andrews, not to me, to us all, that these things, a park, pickleball court, is more important than, we're going to break the rules, we're going to break the law, and pretend that they don't see it, and we're going to go out and put $7 million. Each council member received $1 million. Andrews has 2 county council members. Even if all the things they did was in accordance with the law, those two gentlemen could have applied those $2 million, but again, they wrote us off a long time ago. Okay, so when it becomes that personal, because I call truth to power, I'm the bad guy, but it's right here in writing. It's in every document, and you look at the timing when these things were done. I will tell you that that's a problem. That's a problem for them, for those who made these decisions to deem these monies surplus when they hadn't met their obligation. That's a problem beyond my level. I'll tell you that. If anybody wanted to pursue that, but just look at this. You wanted a path for golf carts in Pawleys Island. I guess that's where Waverly Road is, and if you dig a little bit deeper, you may find some people that are associated with that trail.
Oh, it's the name that was put on that. That's on the county website.
I know.
That's on the Georgetown County website. That was given credit was given to the Parks and Recreation. Public Works Director. His name was on that.
Right. On
that project right there, Waverly Road. And when I did the FOIA and got the account for the spending for this money that we talking about, $1 million went to the Public Works Department and $1 million went to the Rec Department. None of which was written up in the ordinance.
In that ordinance, yes.
In the ordinance, and I wish y'all. I ain't gonna say I wish y'all, but y'all. Sue me if I'm lying.
All right.
How about that?
Yeah, you're right. So there was some adjustments from this document that they initially published, and then what they put in this referendum. Not very much, but if you look here, even if let's say McCleary is all off pace, or wrong. Look at number 8. It says lighting and signage on trails in North Santee and Sampit and Andrews. We still haven't gotten that. If that was the case.
That's not even so comparably.
Yeah, that's if you look down at line golf, not golf, hotel H, you see lighting signage on trails.
Yeah. I see that at $88,000. Yep.
$88,000. That still haven't made it to Andrews.
And that's what my man asked Everett about that. Everett got, man, listen, don't worry about that. You bringing up old stuff. You know what I mean?
No, this is law. You wrote it, you signed it, you voted on it.
You took the money.
So where the light is? Let's put the building aside. Where's the signage and the lighting, whatever that's supposed to be, because nobody asked us, what we needed beyond this building. But this is in black and white. This is record. So
right here, and I've been on it like a home. Go ahead.
Where's the lie? Where is the fairness? Where's the truth? Where's all this stuff that we're supposed to be about to make these things happen for the people? But then again, and through this process, we've learned that since 1999, every dollar of our hospitality fees will go into the county.
But that now,
come on, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of $80,000 since 1999, and all of that money, those dollars should go towards the beautification of your street. So do the simple math from 99 until the time that we got those funds back.
And we got to unpack that a little bit, right? So what the mayor's talking about is, all right, let's break it down like this. So the Heritage Festival, take the Heritage Festival, for example, right? And think about all the people that come in town for homecoming and so in Georgetown County, being a tourist county that it is, they have what's called an accommodation and a hospitality tax. Are these both the same things or two different things? No, two separate things. Accommodations and then hospitality tax.
Yes.
Well,
so one is through food and beverage, the other through lodging.
Okay.
And that's your accommodation. Mm-hmm.
A percentage of these, a portion of these taxes are and for lack of a better term, invested back into the public for those people who put heads in beds, who throw big events that bring people from other places to Georgetown County. Okay. And so every year there's money that when they take these hospitality taxes from these visitors, this money, again, a portion of it is give back to organizations and groups to help them build up their whatever their event is to bring more people into Georgetown County. Did I say that right?
You're spot on.
Okay. And so that money, because remember, Andrews had the good old days. Andrews had different things to where, but just by being in Georgetown County, the town of Andrews qualified for this money. And since 1999, now this money on the scale of what you said is $70,000 to $80,000 a year.
$80,000 a year.
That money is to be invested into streetscape, to building up the streetscape. Okay. And so from 1999, right, up until recently, that money,
I think it's 2024.
Recently,
or it could have been the end of 23, but somewhere in that neighborhood. Maybe it's I think it's less than a year that we've been collecting it, or right out of the year that we've gotten it back. We've reversed that. The title escapes me right now. But bottom line is, we went back and said, no, we want our money back, and so money.
Was it taken, or was it?
No, it was not. In all fairness.
Yeah, so, that's what I'm saying. So
what happened? So in 1999, for whatever reason, I still haven't found that in the files, that made sense that we would give up this revenue to the county. We should have been getting something back in return, but nothing.
So whoever was in charge in 1999, and I'm gonna go back and look that up, they decided, nah, we don't want this money.
Yeah, we forfeited all of our, it by law, it's 2 cents that are collected on those type funds. One go to the county, one come to us on all sales. We weren't getting any of it. So as we look at the revenue that's pointing now, of course, it's a little bit different now. We're talking about 80, and it could be more. I have to look at the numbers now. About $80,000 that we should put back into community activities, back into streetscape, and all that business, again, to attract more tourists and tourism. We want people to come in and stop, shop, do that kind of business. But you're limited, because then what the town end up surviving off of is just your general fund revenue, and then your water and sewer that is specific for that. You can't use those dollars for anything else. That's by law. Mm-hmm. So whatever you generate through taxes and fees and permits and all this other stuff is what you get for salary, equipment, those kind of things. Again, we were very fortunate to receive, again, in the tune of about $18 million in grant over time to address the infrastructure challenges we've had. So that's how we're staying afloat. But these other dollars that should be coming to us, and thank God that from the process we went through with the vision and plan and that kind of business, there was smart. We had a company out of Greenville doing that. So their experience, they say, where's this money going? I'm like, I don't know. This was something that wasn't obvious to me. And as we look into it, it's all going to Georgetown, and there's no return. So we got that back. And about the same time we discovered that, looking at the property, the town's property, and you can go on Q Public, Georgetown County Q Public, and that's where all of your property, who owns it, and what is value at. All of Andrews' property is valued significantly less than county property. What is county property? All recreation buildings. And let me give you an example. So there's a pavilion that's here. That's the pavilion. So this whole block where we sit was once Andrews' property. Sometime back in the day, Andrews sold half of this block. And we're talking about it, the whole square, half of that was sold to the county for a total of $6.
the side closer to Piggly Wiggly, right?
Yes. So they split the property. Town hall remained on half of it, and the rest of it was to. And again, we understand the benefits to having a public library and a recreation center. So that's what they decided back then. Well, here it is now. That pavilion, which again is just a slab of concrete with an overhead bathroom, nice little pavilion. That building is assessed at $293,000. I mean, it's not a building; it's a shed. $293,000 just for that. The library is like 1.2, 1.4 million. So you come next door where we've already put $3 million into the new building, and this building we've been operating in for years. All of that is assessed at $222,000. So what is the significance of that?
Whoa. So you're saying that shed, the pavilion that folks have things on, that where a bunch of the homeless people hang out and live at, that, which is a concrete slab with a roof and a bathroom, that's worth more than the entire block?
The entire block that this building and the one behind us sit on. So what's the significance of that? Just like your home. If your home is valued, then if you have to refinance or get a loan against that, then they're going to be based on what is valued. If that's the case, then if it's not valued, that's all you're going to qualify for.
So that's why that limits the town.
Yes.
And when you guys go for a loan,
or borrow yes. Your property isn't worth anything, so we can only offer you X, Y, Z. Fortunately, we hadn't had to do that. We were close to it because of what the second and third orders effects of this, dealing with these folks with this building. We had to expend some of our own generated fund again to make sure we paid subcontractors. Those guys did the work, we had to pay them, but that money should have come through the sales tax. So we also, we will be asking for that back as well. But not to get sidetracked, but see, so there is a pattern, is what I'm trying to, help people understand. There's a pattern of shortcutting Andrews or keeping us suppressed, if you will, for things that nobody pays attention to. But when it comes down to the management of it, and you get to these points.
Yeah, because I mean, in real estate, that's basically redlining the whole city.
Yeah.
Or whatever that tactic is where you devalue the property.
You devalue the property. And then it further puts you in a financial bind, because so it's these things, and I can go on and on about these things that has been done. The ambulance, we can go on and on. We know the story about that. We know the story about the near catastrophic situation when they brought that building down, that old Andrews High School gym. But all of those things are done without considering the life and safety of the people that live here. So you should not be surprised when we get to a point like this when it comes down to this building, because it's been happening for years and nobody has called them on it. Now here we are. I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, because they did some things with that money. They did other things with that money that were not in that ordinance. Got a little list here of some things that,
well, in their minds, they're justified by changing the rules when they cut that new ordinance. But again, the law prevents you from doing that legally when you haven't met the obligation in the first place. Let's talk about the two. There you go. Let's talk about this money that went out, and again for a good purpose. But these monies should not have gone anywhere. At least with the first two, should not have gone anywhere before these projects were completed. We cut the ribbon. I was personally there. We cut the ribbon to this new advanced technical building at the Horry County. At the Georgetown, Horry County and Georgetown Tech. That right there. I was there. That was 2019.
And
those $1.5 million out of the sales tax money that was given. And again, I I believe it's a worthy cause, but let's make sure that we have met the legal obligation of the funds before this happened. This happened before we even let the contract, but no one was paying attention.
Whoa. That's before you guys did the contract for hold on a second.
Well, let me go back. Let me make sure I'm so the announcement of this advanced manufacturing facility at the Ori Tech was done July 13th, 2017. Okay. So the big plan was out there to do that. And again, I think it's a great facility, great people out there. And I love what they're doing at this institution. So that was announced in July 13th, 2017.
So if they announced it, they knew where they were going to get the money from, obviously.
Well, you should, if it's going to happen, I don't, and again, that process. So then if you go back to the timeline that was established, so that was in 17. In 2019, October 10th, we were cutting the ribbon.
Ooh.
So that money was already in hand, the $1.5 million. Again, that was not even on any referendum. Nor was the money that was given to Coastal. But you go back and look at the documents, all this happened. And so then you go back to the law that is written and signed by this, the members of this county council back then. None of this money should not be applied to anything else but the 5 projects. The timeline doesn't lie. The documents don't lie.
Yeah, that's why they needed to get rid of you. They needed that the last election. The Bieber boy, you messed you that blew the plan up. They had it all timed out perfectly because they knew how far they could kick that court case down the road. And again, what's got us here is the fact that that court case is going to be coming up, and I think that's going to be monumental for the town of Andrews, because I mean, what if you got eyes? Before this last judge decided to say, hey, look, this thing is got to be heard on this date. I can't remember the female judge. I watched it online, but she asked the question, and it was a simple question, like, if the people voted for to fully fund the project, why aren't you fully funding the project? It was just, a simple thing.
Yeah.
And so
that was a $2.7 million question.
Yeah, I thought by now too. There's a part of me that thought they'd be like, all right, you know what? Let's go ahead and do what we're supposed to do to get this thing out of the way, and so we can move on. But listen, I just got this. Let me do this read right here, and then I want you to react to a video that I got earlier. We go this for me. I've been working on this so long, so if you're not interested in this case, along with whatever guests we bring on Real Talk Tuesday moving forward, we will be talking about this is going to be the biggest court case in the town of Andrews. This is Andrews, Georgetown, and I think Andrews is going to, I'll be taking bets on the court case. And Clean Feed has every intentions to be there to capture this right here, because again, that's going to be the end of this documentary that I'm working on, right? And
things, it's not it's not what you know, it's what you can prove, and the proof is right here. I think
in the documents.
Yeah. So that's where we are. We're going to continue to fight, and because it just makes no sense to me.
All right, but hold that thought. Hold that thought about making no sense real fast. But let me get through this read real fast.
Yes, sir.
All right, community survey drop. This is a cold read. Community survey and drop-in meeting. 2 opportunities to voice your opinion. Drop-in meeting December 12th, which was. Am I late on this? Yeah, because today's the 12th. Yeah, I was a little late on this here. Let me back up on this. But you can scan this with
No,
your
today's
QR.
the 10th.
Oh, today is the 10th. Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm advanced. All right,
No,
so let me start over. Hold on. Yeah, I got this. This computer is off by 2 days. That's the bad thing. That's crazy. All right, community survey community survey and drop-in meeting. 2 opportunities to voice your opinion. Drop-in meeting, December 12th, 2024, 5 o'clock to 6:30 p.m. Presentation at 6 p.m. Andrews Rec Center, 220 South Cedar Avenue, Andrews, South Carolina. Or you can hit that QR code. I will have this posted on the page in a bit. Okay. Now I want you to react to this. I want to.
hey, let me make sure they understand what this is about. This is
Okay.
the Citizens of Andrews opportunity to provide input on what they would, into this comprehensive plan that we are developing right now for the town of Andrews. This covers all things, again, that kind of lays out Andrews from one end to the other on what we want the future of this town, what it look like, all things Andrews. So they can do the survey online, drop in, talk to the experts that we have putting this thing together. We've had multiple meetings already, but again, this is
how has the turnout been?
The committee is there, doing well. Not so much. I have to look at the surveys. It's not what it should be, to be honest with you. I'll put it to you like that. And
have you guys tried punch and pie?
I'm not familiar with.
You're gonna have to give punch and pie, like a
punch and feed. we always have snacks at these things, but this is the future. We're looking out 2045.
This is serious.
Okay, we're looking at from the revenue to streetscape. We have a number of things ongoing right now to get monies for this. So so this process started before we got here. But if you don't have a written plan, then it makes it difficult to sell what you're trying to do to the purse holders at various levels, or if there's any private organization that is willing to contribute to the growth of the town, you got to show them a plan. It's like anything else, a business plan. And so this essentially lays out in detail. You take that vision plan that we published a little over a year and a half ago, and now that evolves into a comprehensive plan that lays out the specifics about what we're trying to do, what we plan to do from now through 2045. And this is by law. We have to have one of these on hand. And again, like I mentioned earlier, where we just wasn't doing things in the PD that was in accordance with state and federal. Same thing here. We didn't have things out. We got ordinance, we never enforced it. But we didn't have, in this case, this plan that was laid out and updated as it should be. I think every 10 years, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'm sure. I'll get a nasty gram here, but I think that's the time span. And it guides you, because then as election goes, people change out. But when you have a document that someone can pick up and say, okay, here's where we are financially. Here's the idea that the people and everybody agreed to. Let's keep moving the town in the right direction, or in that direction. That's the importance of this document. It would outlast.
So basically, if you want to be a part of this decision making, this is this is where you need to be. And you can go and check this vision plan out on the website right there. There it is right there, the Town of Andrews' website. Go visit that, www.townofandrews.sc.gov, or go to the Google Play Store or your Apple Play Store or whatever kind of store and download the app. Same thing, Andrews, Town of Andrews, .sc.gov. But, just put in Town of Andrews and you pull up that and download the app, and you can find what you need over there. Again, that vision and plan, you can go there and take a look at it for yourself. Don't rely on secondhand information. This information is there for you. And again, shout out to the folks who are doing this website. It was settled for a long time. Where is Andrews' website? Whoop. There it is. Yep. All right. So, but go ahead. Did you finish? Sorry.
No, I think we're good. Yeah, as you know, there's tons of information. We'll continue to talk about this thing, and this again for the purpose of informing, citizens who may have, been listening to the wrong narrative. These are just facts.
Yeah, they ain't gotta listen to nobody now. This thing in court now. I mean, it's getting ready to be, but all right. But speaking of elections have consequences, listen to this.
Truck after truck after truck, not one local truck. They were from Charleston County and Berkeley County. So, it's bad enough we put the solar farm up, but then to throw salt on the wound, then we don't hire local contractors. And to me, that is unacceptable when we give up over 2,000 acres of our homeland and not hire local contractors. But go take a look at it and see what's coming to the north end and see if that's what you want. I encourage you highly to do so. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilman. Any further discussion regarding ordinance number 24-40? If not, all in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Let the record reflect 5 in favor, 2 against, 2 opposed. Thank you. We move on down to ordinance number 22.
Long. Hey, you know what I would like to get I'm gonna have to go back when I'm just looking and see how many votes in 5-2. That's the favorite number over there. 5-2.
Well, you know who they are.
Hey, that's the thing. You know who you already know. If you give me the issue and the area that it's happening in, I can tell you how the vote's gonna break down.
And that's, again, that's not the first time that statement was made, but it's so disingenuous that it's sickening, because if anybody know anything about contract or, government contracting, you can't just go out and hand select local contract or any contractor, especially, that dollar threshold. So saying that only appeals to, and if you do that, then you're asking for trouble. You're asking for some some serious legal issues.
Backhanded. That's what he's that.
Because,
sir, again, break that. Let's don't kind of, if you could, break the words down a little bit right now, because what you're saying is that's it. This man is, and I don't think he's. I'm not going to say he's not intelligent, but I don't think he's thought out. And I want this to go to the people that went in that booth November 5th and just checked by his name, namely those folks out in Lambertown that stood out there and voiced these concerns, to sit and listen to this man. And this man that is speaking, guys, is Councilman Raymond Newton, one of the 2 councilmen that represent a part of Andrews, South Carolina.
Listen, contracting and acquisition and procurement, you have to follow the law, because if I'm a contractor and you're not giving me a fair shot to bid on a project, then that project probably will never get done, because we're gonna be in court, because now you're not, you can't do that by law. You just can't give it to your local contractors or your buddy, whether he's local or not. You can't do that. Now, there's this IDIQ that we talked about when they utilize that contracting vehicle, and I think if you look deep into that may not have qualified for that contracting process. But other than that, you have to go through the full contracting process to give every contract an opportunity to bid on these things.
And what that means is local or not, if you don't meet the qualifications, if you don't in the bidding process,
right?
If you don't have, if you need A, B, C, D, and you only got A, B, C, you don't qualify, and it doesn't matter that you're local.
No.
What Raymond Newton is suggesting is some underhanded, let me help my buddies out. Some of my buddies is not getting these contracts. Some of my buddies who I promised, y'all just put the bid in, somebody came in under them and a decision was made, and allegedly. But go ahead.
Yeah, and look, I'm all for employing, spending, reinvesting into our community. But you have to be careful when you have to follow the guidelines outlined by the state and federal. It depends on where you get these dollars from, because when you start getting to the federal level, then it gets even more restrictive, because now you have to consider minority disadvantage. All those things have to be a part of this thing that will change who gets these bids. You got to, those things are by law. But so then when you're saying that there's not a local because they followed the law, now you're criticizing the very system that you have, just to make sure to the uninformed people, oh, he is on our side. He's on our side, so let's keep him around because he's really fighting for us. No, that was set up. That's why it's only 2 people that voted for that. The others, no. But I'm sure there's some coordination going on. Say, hey, you need to save face with your constituents. Go ahead and vote now. Get up here and make this, useless speech.
They did it with the capital project sales tax when the county got called out on their BS, and they put a special ordinance in there to vote whether or not to get rid of the panel that was brought together to collect the information for the new capital project sales tax 2024. Him and Everett Carolina put on their acting hats and acted as if they were against it, because at the time Andrews was left out of the process.
That wasn't genuine
at all.
But these are the things they can do these things to voters that trust them wholeheartedly and don't check their work, don't check their record, don't go to these meetings and see the pattern that these guys employ. And it's not fair to the constituents that, just keep, just pulling the wool over their eyes, man. And then someone comes along like me and say, hey, look, that's not right. Then again, I'm the bad guy.
And I mean, he made it sound like, because, man, we got to look out for the local boys and this and that and this and that. No, y'all think about this. That same council, again, you guys going in there voting for the same people. IP's leaving, right? This solar farm is now in there, you know what I mean, doing what they're doing. And again, per the rules, these people doing what they're doing, and you got your county councilman who acts as if he's for you. By the way, didn't show up at the Andrews parade again. And by the way, man, I heard y'all did a great job with that. I wasn't able to get there. Shout out to Carl Anderson who got there, because it was rumored that Carl Anderson wasn't there. But then upon further investigation, I was told, they would tell me, you need to blast Carl Anderson and this and that. That's why I just don't jump out of the window, any kind of window.
No, Representative Anderson was here. He told me before he was going to show up. He and I sat on the COG board as well, and we spoke then. And true to his word, he was here early and in his rightful place. And the pictures, again, the pictures out there don't lie. You can go out. I think Gab captured the parade.
1,000 words when it's about the pictures.
Yeah, pictures worth 1,000 words now, but the ability to alter them, they could. You got to be careful.
It could have been AI. That's
no. I saw him. He was there. And so that's not. It's not accurate. Whoever said that.
I wonder why somebody would spread a dirty rumor about that man. Like that.
No, he was here, and it was a good parade. But no, we and again, as you said, much credit to the staff. Miss Carla McKenzie, who heads up our parade, the staff who do all the work around here to get things prepared. All of them, everyone came together, and this time we had Dr. Giles was our Grand Marshal, so we're very proud of that. But we still, the kids came out. The kids did a wonderful job. Our Rosemary chorus came out and sang some Christmas carols for us, and so it was great. So again, much credit to everybody who had a hand in it, and things look great up there. But no, you see who's in this thing for the town. People got to look. I mean, stop. Get beyond who you're related to, what party you're in, and let's be.
Now, from the pictures that I saw, y'all checked all those boxes the other day, because that was probably the most diverse I've seen a Christmas parade, and then the town hall, the diversity that was, in that crowd.
Exactly. I love that.
That was awesome, man.
We live here together. We need to be able to come out and socialize and just come together for what's good. If it's not right, I would never ask anybody. First, I'm not going to do anything that's against the rules and regulation. But if not, I don't ask you to support what I say. I just read it. But let's come out and be a part of what, this effort to move the town forward is what we're asking people, man. And because I know there's been a plan in place a long time for this town not to succeed, and they are failing. They are failing miserably. And they're going to continue to fail if they're working against us. Yeah, because we as a people of this town, man, we're going to continue to move things in a positive direction. And so tonight, had an opportunity to go out to Andrews High and listen to all the chorus and the bands, did their Christmas program. The place was packed. Parents were there. Kids did a wonderful job. That's what a community is all about. Support our principals. They're working hard. We're working against, as adults, we're working against a lot to keep our kids safe and get them educated. It's going to take all of us to keep them focused. And so what I saw in there tonight was a great example of at least parts of our community united. Then you'll have those adults who want to get on Facebook and just, keep something stirred up. We're just going to stay away from them, dismiss them.
Hey, hold on now. I stir up a little bit something too now.
But see, here's the way I see it. I'll just cover that real. The media folks like yourself, Gab, other sources. You guys are, you report. It is not all of it is going to be, because nothing is perfect. We're going to have things that that we've fallen short on. That comes with the parking space. I'm good with that. If you're not balanced and you always want to report the negative. I mean, we've had a lot of, I haven't seen one report yet on Little Caesar Pizza, Pueblo Chico, our Mexican restaurant, anytime,
just the story.
These other good things. But as soon as something is not quite right, it's going to stir the people up. Here come the media.
Oh, man.
And when you do that, nobody's talking about all these things that has happened here, over that time period.
Now you should be saying that you the victim blamer,
So I respect the fact that you have a media platform. I am a guest on here. You don't work for the town of Andrews. I appreciate, what we've started in terms of being able to communicate to the folks, but I get it. So I can't be mad at you. I can't be mad at I can be mad if you're not fair. If you don't share the good with the bad, or the not so, pleasant, then I have a problem with that. And that's where I see in other platforms, it's just constantly keeping us at each other's throat. And that is not okay.
And I want resolution. It might be messy resolution, but I want resolution. And the invitation to both of those parties involved still stand. Not on Tuesday night, but tomorrow night for sure. We get in there, get it in. You know what I mean?
I follow you on your other platforms. I'm familiar with what you're talking about. But again, I appreciate this time because it's a time where we can share real information. And I would offer folks to go to the website. You can FOIA whatever you want to if you're not trusted what's being said, so you can see it. Come to the meetings every third Thursday. Next week, it won't be Thursday. It'll be Tuesday. Come to the meetings and get updates on what's going on.
That's what I wanted to ask you too. Are you guys going to put out your holiday schedule, or is it on the website yet?
I haven't been on there.
We're getting close to that time to when, you know.
Yeah. So if not, I'm sure it'll be up here shortly here.
Okay.
The administrator will take care of that. But again, big shout out to her, because again, when Ms. Carla had to step away, you know, the fire department came together and with a lineup for the parade. Ms. Wilson was doing all of the admin stuff here and all the decorations in here. Me and my buddies from Public Works handled what you see outside. So and then the staff came together to manage the execution of the parade and all that stuff. So I'm very proud of the team that we have. We're small, but we move about. You know, again, shout out to Chief Cockrell, Miss Joanna McCrae, Chief Stamper. You know, the guys that are the young lady and the men that are head of departments, and those guys are doing a wonderful job. You know, since that ambulance, you know, got moved outside of the city, the town limits, our fire department, you know, calls have almost doubled. So those guys are out there. I mean, I think it was last month or the month before, they had 52 calls. This is an all volunteer fire department that, you know, that's covering 6 mile radius of the county, and we can't get them to increase the little stipend that they give us for covering that area. That's been that way for almost 40 years. So this thing goes on and on. You cannot have a conversation about what's good without it introducing the resistance that's coming against us to make things happen.
Yep.
You see, so
and an internal resistance. Again, we got some elections. When is your next election cycle here for the town of Andrews?
Next year, we'll have 3 council seats on the ballot. But again, we're small in numbers, but we got folks that really love this town and work hard and enjoy the job that they're doing. A lot of things are getting fixed. It's hard to tell when you're having a system as old as it is, but I'm very proud of our teams that are out here working. So here we are.
No doubt. And the holiday schedule will be posted next week, so you guys be on the lookout for that. We get down into that. Well, I'll tell you what, sir. Again, great talk. I promised the producers that we would end with a final point, and I'm gonna give you that opportunity to have the final say tonight. You know, kind of put a bow
on it. That's what they call it.
There you go. And the floor is yours.
So our format has changed a little bit, but no, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time. As I said, this is important, and for folks who are watching and others haven't, please share this with them. But the bottom line is we're here to improve the quality of life for the town. A lot of things are moving in the right direction. We still have some things to fix, and that's always going to be the case when you're in a small town that is old. But the biggest thing right now is us coming together to work as a unified community. That's what's big, regardless of what anybody says. This is your home. Let's treat it that way. Your neighbors, let's love them as we're supposed to. And so that's where we are right now. And so I appreciate everyone. This is holiday season now. We know we have folks out there that are less fortunate than some of us. There's some out there that are homeless. There's no real quick answer for that, but we can help make these days a little bit more comfortable if we consider others, outside of our families. And so then continue to listen, be safe. We'll keep you updated, and just ask God to bless this town, all of the people, and everybody that's listening out here. And we'll see you in the next Andrews podcast, Real Talk.